नमस्कार, फिर पैसा बोलता है में आपका स्वागत है। मैं आनंद श्रीनिवासन। आज हम हॉट टेक्स करेंगे कि जो करंट न्यूज है मिंट का और बिजनेस लाइन इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स, उससे कुछ टॉपिक्स आएगा, डिस्कस करेंगे, लेकिन ये अंग्रेजी में होगा। अगर कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है तो मैं उसको हिंदी में अनुवाद करूंगा, लेकिन आप लोग बराबर हिंदी से इंग्लिश समझते हो तो इंग्लिश में ही करूंगा इस वीडियो को। नॉट व्हाट यू हैव
You've read about this Russian oil imports have risen by 44% in October 2023.
It is clearly that we are using, whenever possible, we are using Russian oil, buying a Russian oil. And in October, what happened is the global prices of crude spiked. But the point is that buying cheaper oil is only helping the rich refiners. There are two private refiners and some government refiners are getting cheap products. Is basically what is happening is there's a refinery in Jamnagar which is allowed to import from Russia and export the products and make fat profits. And there's a Rosensoft, which was previously the SR refinery, which is also importing and refining and selling abroad. Primarily, what I want to ask is, when is the common man going to get the benefit of cheap Russian oil? And the second thing in this is very clearly they are allowing private companies to profiteer at public expense.
Very true. Talking about that.
And then there was a big claim that there is going to be de-dollarization.
Yes.
The Russians are now not willing to accept payment in rupees.
Yes.
Because those rupees, they have already been paid before October. They are unable to use because they are not able to buy anything from India.
There's nothing we have.
We have nothing that they want, and they are not buying. So they are forced to invest in Government of India RBI bonds. And they said, if you want to import, buy dollars. And in the month of October, we paid dollars. So these kind of fancy terms are very good. But now nobody silently talks about de-dollarization at all.
When you're talking about the common man, what about this? Group insolvencies to get a legal blessing. The government is thinking about changing the insolvency bankruptcy code to help group companies that should be selected for declaring bankruptcies.
What they are now trying to tell you is, if one company goes down, the entire group can be declared as bankrupt. But they have to change the law. It has to go through Parliament. It will go to Supreme Court before it's finally decided. Good headlines.
Headline grabbing.
Yeah.
Make you buy the paper.
Yeah.
EV battery swapping. Industry to chart the way forward, not the government.
This is again, they have to fill up the newspaper. There are two ways of doing EV thing. There is, you have a battery in your vehicle.
And you charge.
You charge it on the way. Now there is another technology which says they give you the batteries charged batteries are available in various locations.
It's like switching petrol tanks.
Yeah, so you just take one, you give a drained battery, put a new battery and drive away. So if you ask me personally, I have not used EV, but it looks swapping of EV doesn't look good. Most likely this will be if at all it takes off also, it will be a short-term solution.
Yes,
the long-term solution is basically what you pointed out to me, what Toyota is trying to do, solid-state batteries.
Yes.
Which will give 500 kilometer range.
Yes.
So people travel 500 kilometers, and 80% of most car owners only drive within the city.
Very true.
So if you have a range of 300, 400 kilometers, I don't think swapping is needed at all.
Very true.
This is my personal opinion. Okay.
I agree with that. US is weighing on tariffs on Chinese EVs and solar goods. New trade war is going to go on.
No, there is already a trade war, and China is in a deflation and debt problem spiral. So basically, there's a negative spiral, and this negative spiral means that production costs are becoming cheaper and the demand in China is dropping. So China is already dumping steel and other products in India. And what America feels is that chips and EVs would be dumped on American markets, and they need to protect the American market, and therefore they are going to have tariffs.
What about Mend Your Nation Judging Ways? CEA tells the rating firms.
Basically, what he's begging for them, he's actually practically begging, because they are not giving the ratings they want. And you are not getting top grade ratings, and because you don't have top grade ratings, you are not be able to, your cost of funds is not cheap. And so the government's major expenses paying taxes. So if your ratings improve, your taxes your interest rates will come down, and you will have to pay less in interest. And ratings, if you keep increasing it higher, the hope is that foreign funds will change money into India and buy Government of India bonds.
RBI, heavy Forex activity in October.
Well, all this problem has come because the IMF has said that instead of being a floating currency, rupee is a stabilized currency.
Yes, and I think
That the-
even they said we are very close to our 100% GDP.
Yeah, and so, no, that is markets. So basically, what has happened is we have not allowed our currency to appreciate or depreciate, and the RBI has been more than active on the forex markets. In the month of October, though the actual results look like 0.3 million sale. What it masks is you bought for 36.7 in the futures market and sold for 37. So basically, you had a transaction of $72 billion in buy and sell, where the difference was 300 million. Basically, what has happened is that for the first time, the rupee, in 3 years, the RBI has a negative futures market that it has bought. It has to deliver in the forward market something like $36.3 billion. And so you're now using both the forward market and the spot market. You are playing like a player. Normally, a Reserve Bank is not a player.
Correct.
The central banker has become a player in the currency market to make sure the rupee does not fall. And you are given an easy route. This is my opinion. You have given the FIA's easy way to go out. And the claim is that for making sure that inflation doesn't go up and you're keeping imports cheap. But if you don't allow, already if you look at a basket of competing countries like the Vietnam, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and those countries with whom your merchandise exporters are competing, you are already appreciated. And you are allowed free import of textiles from Bangladesh. So which is killed because the indirect effect of this is that apparel manufacturers like in Tripur and other places and north of India are struggling because imports from Bangladesh have become cheaper.
True.
Yeah.
This move, big
And if
move.
you looked at festival sales, retail sales, festival retail sales last year to this year was flat.
True. That further to add evidence to this K-shaped recovery thing is Metro Shoe Company.
Yeah.
They're been raising nearly 50% in sales in outperforming peers, and they cater only to premium portfolio where consumers are less price sensitive.
See, what is now happening is for the very rich, they have already got monies in gold and in terms of stocks. The last 30 days has been very kind to people like me without actually doing anything. There is no way I am not doing my income, earned income is separately. But the invested income, the invested wealth has shot up by an obscene amount with the price in rally in gold and stocks, which is simply not acceptable. Yeah.
Bandon Bank to shed home loan NPAs. What do you think about Bandon Bank?
Bandon Bank is actually it was a small it was an MFI, microfinance company which got a banking license. COVID affected it very badly. They have very low, that is, they have lent for housing loans to people below poverty line or just above the poverty line.
Yes.
Those banks have become NPA and they are basically, now they are selling it out to recovery agents or alternate asset restriction companies, which are basically companies will buy it very cheap from Bandhan Bank and try to recover money.
Rana Kapoor gets bail on the ED case.
नमस्कार, फिर पैसा बोलता है में आपका स्वागत है। जनवरी के महीने में मैं त्रिवेंद्रम आ रहा हूँ। त्रिवेंद्रम में आपसे मिलूंगा। जो भी मुझे त्रिवेंद्रम में मिलना चाहता है, नीचे दिए हुए जीमेल में trivandrummp@gmail.com में मेल भेजें और या नीचे दिए गए व्हाट्सएप नंबर में हमें संपर्क करें। धन्यवाद।